Hey everyone, Jet7 back with another race review. I realized I did not post a race review for last week. Life happens if you don't follow me much on this channel. I'm in a Master's of Social Work program online, and I work a full-time 40-hour week job. So both those things combined take up a lot of my time. So therefore, because of that reason, I was unable to, didn't have enough time to get a race review out. But I mean, 10 course. I mean, it was a good race. But we're going to talk about the Dixie Vodka 400 that Homestead. It happened yesterday. Yeah, today's Monday, so it was yesterday. So overall, Dixie Vodka 400 was a fantastic race, I thought, from start to finish. We'll go into some more of the details of the race a little bit throughout this race review. So to start off, we had Corey LaJoie, Denny Hamlin, let's see who else here, Alex Bowman, James Davison had a start at the rear of the field for unapproved adjustments. Denny Hamlin, he earned the pole position through the formula thing that they have, but he had a drop to the rear, which allowed Christopher Bell to skip ahead of, and, you know, essentially start on the pole. I did read this morning that Denny Hamlin, this was from Beyond the Flag, that Denny Hamlin, he's won 4 straight Homestead Miami pole positions in 4 different ways. One was actually qualifying, one was rained out. The last year's was the other method they had before the formula, and then this year's was the formula method. So that's pretty cool. Doubt it will ever happen again. Very unlikely on that. So to start a race, we had Joey Logano and Keselowski. They led majority, well, not the majority, they led the entire first 25 laps. We had a competition caution occur on lap 25, so teams could check tire wear and that sort of thing. They all pitted. Brad Keselowski won the race off pit road. So they restarted around lap 30. Then immediately, you know, you had Stenhouse and Chris Buescher having fantastic runs. Chris Buescher actually was able to drive up and pass Brad Keselowski for the race lead. Chris Buescher, he led 57 laps in total for the race on Sunday. He ended up winning stage number 1. Just a fantastic run for Buescher. And, you know, he took the lead about lap 54. So about 16 laps to go. James Davison, he blew an engine in his Rick Ware racing car. Blew an engine 16 laps to go. Brought out a caution. As I mentioned, Buescher won stage 1. So it's good to see, and I had some fun. It's good to see the Hendrick cars running up front again. A lot of parity up at the front. JTG was up there. Michael McDowell, I mean, he was up there. Hendrick Motorsports, all 4 cars, top 10. Roush Fenway, they were there. Didn't see a lot of the Toyota teams at the beginning of the race. They kind of struggled, you know, minus Martin Truex Jr., who actually worked his way up through the field. But Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, they all struggled throughout the race. Not really much of a factor. Neither was Kevin Harvick throughout the race. Denny Hamlin wasn't much of a factor either there at the beginning. Of course, I mentioned he had the starts back. But I'm pretty sure Hamlin actually made his way up through. But in the top 10. But Elliot, you know, they restarted for stage 2. Chase Elliott led briefly. Larson and William Byron, they were showing a lot of speed early on. Larson wasn't utilizing that high lane like we've seen him do at Homestead. So it was a little surprising. No one was really using it at the beginning of the race. It was kind of in the middle towards the bottom of the racetrack. It wasn't until they got on to the nighttime that some of the drivers were using it, most notably Tyler Reddick, and we'll talk about him later on in the race. But yeah, Chase Elliott led briefly, you know, and then Chris Buescher, he again was leading the race. And we mentioned Martin Truex Jr., he actually caught Chris Buescher, was able to pass Chris Buescher for the race lead. So then, you know, pit stops, lap 39. Truex took the lead at lap 41. Elliott had a really huge moment coming off of turn 4. He got really loose, slid up to the track right in front of Keselowski. They mentioned during the broadcast Keselowski actually took cut Chase Elliott a break. I mean, he could have easily taken Elliot out. They could have taken each other out. But Elliot had a really big moment that caused him to slide up the racetrack right in front of Brad Keselowski. Heads up driving by both Elliot and Keselowski there, not to cause a big accident. So Corey LaJoie blows up much like James Davison. He blew up with 7 laps to go in stage 2, which then we saw another restart. You had Denny Hamlin. He got down to the bottom of the racetrack as they were coming to win stage 2 finish. Hamlin, was on the bottom going through turns 3 and 4. Car slid up. He almost hits his teammate Martin Truex Jr. And it allows Byron to sneak by both of them on the bottom of the racetrack. Passes them, and he ends up winning stage 2 for William Byron. We saw a huge block. I can't remember at what point this was in the race. A huge block by Ross Chastain on Matt DiBenedetto. Matt DiBenedetto got a really big run going into, still on the back straightaway. They're about to enter turns 3 and 4. Benedetto got a huge run. Chastain threw a huge block on him. Shocked that Matt just did not hook that car right to the right on the right left quarter panel of Chastain's race car and just dump him right there. I saw on Twitter Chastain talk with Matty D, and apologized, and they moved on without further incident. So you had Truex and Kurt Busch pitted, fell back. Kurt Busch was running top 10 for majority of this, practically all race. Kurt Busch was up in the top 10. Truex dropped back to 17th, although he quickly drove up through the field on those fresh tires. Tires at Homestead mean everything, essentially. Truex very quickly went back up through the field. So, he restarts 17th, drives up to 5th. Then, I can't remember where this was in the race. Need to do better about this. I'll make a note for next time. But Ryan Blaney and Eric Almirola made contact. Looked like Almirola thought he might have been clear. Wasn't clear, ultimately. And got up into Ryan Blaney. Damaged both their cars. Ultimately ruined both of their days. This brought out another caution flag. So then, you have pit stops happen. Kyle Larson actually ended up winning the race off of pit road, which was really cool to see. Larson had a lot of speed throughout the race. And then, Kurt Busch, we mentioned him having a top 10 run throughout the whole race. He ends up pitting with a loose wheel, didn't get the lug nuts tight on the car, so he had to come down pit road, which was very unfortunate. Then you had, towards the end of the race, Keselowski and Logano realized that they weren't going to do anything with the leaders unless they chose some alternate strategy, which they did. They ended up pitting under green flag conditions just to try something else. Of course, ultimately didn't end up working. I think Logano actually finished like 25th. I can't remember where Brad finished in the running order, but ultimately didn't work out for really either one of them. And then Tyler Reddick, utilizing that high lane, he was able to catch Truex and Kyle Larson, past both of them on the outside. Finished second to William Byron, who was eventually the race winner. William Byron led a commanding 102 laps of 267. William Byron picked up his second career victory, his first with new crew chief, not really new to him in the Cup Series, Rudy Fiegel, who crew chiefed Truck Series for William Byron. So yeah, good to see a rainbow car back in victory lane. Good for William Byron, 2014 Hendrick Motorsports. Hendrick extends their record winning streak of getting wins in a season to 36. Which is very impressive for Hendrick Motorsports. They are now 4 wins away from tying Petty Enterprises as the team that has the most wins in NASCAR history, which would be very cool. They're able to do that this year. I don't have a doubt in my mind that they'll be able to. They managed to get 7 wins last year. And you know, we got Larson chopping the bit. I'm sure Larson will pick up a few. Elliot, Bowman, Byron, you have to expect they'll pick up. Byron, he'll pick up a few more. You gotta expect Elliot and Bowman. They'll pick up a few. I think it's very possible that we could see that this year. You know, if you think about it, Rick Hendrick could honestly have won the first 3 races this season. Daytona 500, you know, Elliot finished second. Kyle Larson, had Larson not spun out last week at the road course, Larson could have realistically caught Joe Logano. Larson had fresher tires road course last week. He could have easily caught Logano had he not spun out and wrecked. So Hendrick could easily have won the first 3 races this season. But fortunately it's not meant to be, but it is what it is. Overall, this race was a very good race. Homestead is a gem of a racetrack. The progressive banking really helps out. The old worn out surface helps tremendously. The way the cars slide, we saw Elliot slide. Saw cars using different lanes. You know, we have 3 usable lanes at this racetrack, which just produces fantastic racing throughout. I was very excited for the race overall itself. I thought it was an excellent race. So I have to give this race probably an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 race. Very good. That's really about all I have to say on the race without repeating myself too much. So I think that probably wraps this up. If you've not been watching the past couple diecast reviews, I'm going to mention that I'm an affiliate with Plan B Sales, Circle B Diecasts. You can use my code JetSaturn to pick up your cars, pick up apparel, other stuff that Plan B has. They have sports apparel, diecast shirts, hats. So they got a lot of good stuff. You know, my code gets you free shipping on orders over $20, which is pretty good. So yeah, code JetSaturn. J is capitalized, S is capitalized. It's all one word. So yeah, rest of the letters are lowercase. But yeah, you know, be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy this video. I do enjoy making these race reviews. I enjoy talking about NASCAR, which clearly I love so much. But yeah, leave comments what you thought about the race. I like to hear everybody's comments. And be sure to continue checking out the channel. I appreciate all of you. Thanks, and I'll see you all in the next video.